Yes, this is not a review of Bioshock Infinite. I'm currently playing that right now, but I thought it would make sense before I review Bioshock Infinite to review the original Bioshock. I mean, y'all agree that makes sense, right? Bioshock. So Bioshock was a first-person shooter that came out in 2008 and pretty much everyone loved it. It was back when game developers weren't afraid to make survival horror type games because they were cool and it wasn't all about the action genre. In Bioshock, you're a guy who was in a plane crash, you survive, you're in the middle of the ocean, and you find this pod that takes you down to this underwater utopia called Rapture. From there, game gets crazy, and then crazier. Rapture was created to be free of God, free of country, it's its own thing. Free of rules in Rapture, mankind is free to become all he can be. And now we have a survival horror game. Now in Bioshock being a first-person shooter, it's all about the intro. How is it going to start out? It has a pretty rough start in my opinion because you're like, oh, I have a wrench and 2 bullets for my pistol. Sweet, I'm being attacked by 4 guys. 2 of them are shooting at me, 2 of them are melee. Yeah, rough start. And then after that, you're like, I need to conserve my ammo because I'm clearly not going to have a lot of it. And that's the way it is for about 1/3 to halfway through the game. After that, feel free to waste anything with any amount of ammo you have. If you run out of ammo, rest assured you have enough money to buy ammo. If you run out of money, don't worry. You'll get it back pretty quickly. Yeah, there's more money and ammo in this game than you know what to do with by the end. You feel like you're wasteful. You're like, I am just throwing shit away and not getting it. Screw those sandwiches. Screw those med packs. Screw those bullets. Screw that money. America. But in this game, dealing with unlocking biology, you do get abilities. You know, you can shoot fire from your hands, lightning from your hands. Still explained with science, of course, but oh yeah, you have magic. In the end, it doesn't matter what magic you get or what weapons you get because you find out the most effective weapon is to take any inanimate object with the force, hold it in front of you, and throw it at a guy's head when he attacks you. Instant death, for the most part. As for the creepy factor, this game certainly has it. I love the tone of Bioshock. The best and only way to play Bioshock is in the dark, lights off, at night, and the sound up. It has a really ominous tone. You hear people talking to themselves. These chicks are like, I'll be pretty, I'll be pretty. You're like, well, you're in Rapture. So I'm gonna shoot you in the face before you do anything to me. Could have been a nice chick. Maybe she just wanted to be pretty, but now she's dead, so we'll never know. I remember this one scene, this light came on behind me, and I looked up and I was like, ooh, that shadow effect's cool. I can see my that's not my shadow. And you turn around, this dude's right in your face, and you're like, shit! Yeah, I haven't really felt like that since like the original Resident Evil. There's this one dude who was on the ceiling, he had hooks for hands, and I just blew him away, and he's just hanging there, and the music kicks on. It's all like, how much is that doggy in the window? I was just like, I'm gonna go now. Yeah. I don't know why, it was just unsettling. The situation was done, there was nothing else attacking me, but I just didn't want to stay in the room. I mean, there are rooms in this game I'm not even gonna ruin for you because it'll ruin the effect. If I'm like, oh, in this room, and you'll be like, oh, thanks, dick, you just told me. So creep out factor in Bioshock is a check. Another thing you have to deal with are the big daddies. In Bioshock, you gotta get this chemical from these little girls. It's called Adam. But before you do that, you gotta take on their guardians, the big daddies. These dudes are enormous and they're pretty docile. If you don't mess with them, they don't care about you. But eventually you do have to engage them and they kick the shit out of you. At first, by the end of the game, you're like, yeah, I'm more powerful than you. Grenade launchers, crossbow because I'm all Norman Reedus from Walking Dead and shit. Before that, though, they are a menace. They dispatch you with extreme prejudice. It's not like some big Solomon Grundy is like, ugh. They're fast and they hit hard and you just don't want to deal with them. You're like, shit. All right. Let's get this over with. In Bioshock, you equip these stat buffs in certain categories. You know, they buff you. It's pretty commonplace for first-person RPGs at this point. But when Bioshock came out, it absolutely wasn't. Everyone's like, what is this? It's like a first-person shooter with RPG elements. Like, what is this? This is not your common first-person shooter. No, it is not. And usually I'd say, oh, that's the gimmick, but it still holds up today. Another thing I like in Bioshock is you can hack electronic devices. How you hack them is kind of a mini game. You unlock all these little pieces and you gotta ultimately connect point A with point B before the water gets to the end. It's a water pipe type game. But I love that game. It's one of those mini games that's such a puzzle on your mind that when you're going to bed, that's all you see in your head. Bioshock invades your mind with the pipe puzzle game. Now, when you're done with Bioshock, you may think to yourself, oh, it's good, but it's a little overhyped. Then you really start thinking about the message that Bioshock has about humanity. And in your mind, it becomes more than just a first-person shooter with some RPG elements to it. It's more than just survival horror. It's more than just, oh, an experiment went bad in this underwater city. The message I get from the whole Bioshock franchise is ultimately it's a delve into humanity. What makes humans human? And if they're free to do whatever they want, free of law, what would they do? What would they become? Would they become something that's not human anymore? And if they do that, is that actually what humanity is? Human nature is not civil. If you don't have rules and laws in place, humanity goes to a very dark place. It all really, it's in your head, you know, and you start thinking about that shit and you're like, man, A game did that. A game. So Bioshock was creepy as shit. It was a lot of fun. It had a good story to it. It was really intense. And it had a good message of humanity. I don't know if it was a good message, but it was a relevant enough message that makes you go, whether I like that or not, I'm now thinking about it and it's intriguing the shit out of me. Bioshock certainly is awesometacular. Bioshock is the show Lost and the game Resident Evil had a kid. That sums it up right there, yeah. Alright, so Bioshock, have you played it? What did you think about it? Do you think it still holds up today? Although it's a simple, like 5 years later at this point, but 5 years is a lifetime in terms of game life. Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. Would you kindly?